It's been a struggle setting up here. I know I come here a lot. This is the third, fourth time I've been here. This is Ladyfinger Point on the shores of the Great Salt Lake. The problem I have with this campground, it's kind of a love-hate relationship I have, and I'll explain why I'm here in a minute. It's a campground, an official campground with 4 designated sites, and when you drive in they hand you your placard showing that you reserved the camp spot. And as the park ranger explained to me, this is so the rangers will know you belong there. I said okay, and I hung it up from my little rear view mirror. And I came here and there were people everywhere, all through here, all over all the campsites. I had to ask some kids to move on from my site. Told them I paid for it for the night and go play somewhere else. I said it nicer than I'm even saying it now. Their parents were over there hogging a campsite that it's not a picnic site. You actually have to pay $28 a night to stay here, but park rangers clearly don't monitor this at all. Those kids moved on just about 30 yards away and were screaming, yelling, running, playing, having the time of their lives. And that's fine. I kind of expected the noise. It's a bittersweet thing at this point because I'm the only one who has set up camp here tonight. It is late February 24th today, 2024. And nobody is setting up camp. All of these people that are being so noisy and taking pictures and running around, that's all going to go away when the sun goes down, and it's going to get very quiet here. And I love that. And it's a full moon tonight. It's going to be beautiful. It's a clear sky. It's in the 50s for a high and 35-ish at night for a low. Comfortable sleeping conditions. So why did I pick Ladyfinger again? If you've watched my videos, you know that I've ended up over there at, what is that, camp site number 1, 2, 3, 4, site number 5, site number 5, many times. So I intentionally chose site 2, which is further out towards the lake than the other sites. They're kind of back behind me. But it didn't make a difference because you can hear the people. There's a wedding party over there, taking pictures, engagement pictures, family pictures, changing places, having a lot of fun. I don't own the island. I don't expect to come in here and have everybody just shut up and go away. Not at all. I knew that by the end of the night, things would quiet down. My original plan was lower Uintas. You can get to the lower Uintas in the winter time. They plow the road up to a certain point. And then I looked up the snow conditions and that kind of thing, and the snow is extremely deep and you need snowshoes, and so I thought, well, that sounds adventurous. Let's do that. Let's backpack in and do my first ever snowshoeing adventure. And I could not get my hands on a pair of snowshoes soon enough because this trip kind of came together unexpectedly, kind of suddenly. So I said, okay, that's a long way to drive, and it's a lot of gas, and I would have to buy snowshoes on top of it. And I just said, nah, I'll go to the desert. I'll go out to a ghost town I know where there's an old cemetery, and we'll camp by the cemetery, and it'll be amazing. These are all still future ideas, by the way. And then I looked at the conditions out there. We got hit with an atmospheric river, as they call it, that came in from the Pacific Ocean over California, and it rained here buckets for days and days. And by the time it stopped, the entire desert was a muddy mess, and I didn't want to go on a mud camp out. And so the window got narrowed even more. And then I thought, hey, over there by my house in Ogden is the Maples. I could hike in there. That's just a 20-minute drive from my house. That's perfect. I'll do a winter camp up there. I've never done that before. And then I looked at the conditions, and if you didn't have snowshoes, you were post-holing all the way up to your knees, all the way up the trail. It's that deep. So it rained everywhere here. As you can see, there's no snow, but up in the mountains, nothing but snow, and deep snow. And I just kind of said, well, my only option, really, at this point, is Antelope Island. Where do I want to camp on Antelope Island? Bridger Bay Campground is a traditional campground with a fire ring, but it's also very crowded and known to attract party people, and I'm not interested in that. There's a backcountry trail now here that you can hike into, but it's 5 miles in. It goes through the top of the island and down, and I didn't want to hike 5 miles. I'm tired. It's been a long several months, and this is the first chance I've been able to get out since last fall. So I came here knowing it would be noisy, knowing there would be people everywhere, and took my chances. And I think in the end I'll be happy that I did. I came back to the old familiar Ladyfinger campground, and it looks like I might, in a couple of hours, when all of that goes away, I will have this entire campground to myself. And that's worth the wait. The shrinking Great Salt Lake, I've brought it up before, is making a recovery. We had a really heavy winter last year. And this year, with those atmospheric streams or rivers, whatever they call them, coming in, it has really come back. It's not where it could be, as you can look over this way and see where it's supposed to be, all the way up there. But we need this to survive. Without the Great Salt Lake, this whole area becomes a dust bowl. And all of that civilization out there, where I live, becomes desperate and useless. Because this is like a little ocean. Storms come in from the west, that direction, and they blow over the Great Salt Lake, and they stall here, and they pull up moisture from the lake and create lake effect snow that continues to move on and dump snow on our mountains and valleys that way. And that is the very thing that keeps this area from becoming a complete desert wasteland. So this lake is important not just because it's a landmark or famous for its saltiness. It's important for survival. You can't drink it. Nothing lives in it except brine shrimp. As you can see over here, these are the corpses of brine shrimp. This lake, I love its smell. I love the sight of it. I love when it gets windy. It has little waves, nothing like the ocean, but it's always been in my life, so it's an important place to me. And we are camped right up there, right up in that sagebrush. It's getting to be dinner time. People are taking air tours over the lake. You can hear the airplanes, you can see cars still coming in. I think most of them will be going out soon. It's almost 5:30 p.m. I've got some interesting things for dinner this time and breakfast. So let's hike back to camp and I'll show you what's for dinner. Well, some good news is a lot of these people are already saying, let's go, time to go. You can probably see the silhouettes of those people. The sun sets in about 30 minutes. I'm back at camp and I think I'm gonna wait and go watch the sunset before I have dinner. Plus all these people are gonna be leaving soon, I hope. Unless they're staying for the sunset. But if we hike over this way, on the other side of those rocks is the actual Ladyfinger Point, and we can get a pretty good shot of the sun going down. That's Prairie Peak. That's the highest point on Antelope Island. There's a trail that goes up there. you can see where the lake is supposed to be and where it actually is.
Here is the forecast for the following area in Utah. Salt Lake Valley, tonight, mostly clear. Lows in the mid-30s. Sunday, sunny. Highs in the upper
50s. Well, I was right. Most of those people left as soon as the sun went down and the temperature dropped. It's gotten quite chilly. Got the beanie on, puffer coat. I'm comfortable. I do have some hand warmers if I need them, but I don't think I'll need them. I'll show you my sleep setup in a little while, but I don't think I'll need the hand warmers tonight. We'll see. Here's dinner. Tonight we're having pad thai, rice noodles with white meat, chicken, and vegetables in a savory sauce, freeze-dried. I've never had this from Mountain House, so this is the first time for me. And for dessert, this is crazy, I found this on Amazon. Creme brulee from Backpacker's Pantry. A lot of calories, a lot of sugar. My diet's going off the rails this weekend, but I'm having fun. You just add cold water to this, so it's a cold dessert, but I'll take it. I've also got some hot chocolate. One for tonight, one for tomorrow morning. So it should be good. I had to add my foil. There's a little bit of a breeze. And it wasn't heating up quite like it should. It's getting there though. Oh yeah, it's almost there. Like literally 30 seconds away. There we go. Trying to hold my head in the right place to keep this lit. I've got this little lantern Joe gave me. Pops on, but I'd have to hold it up here, so I'm just using my headlamp. Use the lantern inside the tent. Anyway, let's see what the pad thai looks like. Looks very filling. There's a lot of food in there. Alright. There's still a few stragglers in the parking lot, but I think they're going to be disappearing soon. There were a couple of motorcycles that rode through. The entrance closes at 6 p.m. You can't get in, but you can get out, of course. Whoops, I always forget these stupid things. That was dumb. What a rookie mistake. Alright. There you go. Better lighting. I'm moving my head and I'm stirring at the same time. It's like patting your head and rubbing your stomach. I'm only human, man. Let that heat for 5 minutes, stir it again, and let it heat for another 4 minutes. In the meantime, let's get some water for this hot chocolate. I'm getting a little bit of a chill, not too bad. I brought lots of water with me. There's no water on the island at all. So you have to bring your own. I just bought some Smart Water bottles, and the reason I bought them is because in the summertime I can hang on to these bottles and they'll fit my water filter when I go up into the Whelton Mountains and elsewhere. Alright, where's my lighter? That doesn't have to be boiling, just heated through. So while that's heating up, this headlamp is awesome. It actually made its debut here 1 or 2 years ago. Joe, my buddy Joe, gave it to me. It's 1200 lumens. Here's the 1200 lumen setting. It's pretty great. And then it has 3 regular settings. That's low, medium, high. And then you click it once more, double click it for the 1200 lumens. Really handy when you have to get up in the middle of the night to pee or something. Or just to stretch your legs and look at the amazing full moon, which will be rising over that direction soon enough. I watched it rise last night. I was with my kids. We were driving home from a restaurant and I noticed the mountain was starting to glow. I live right out there up against those mountains, like literally up against them, and I noticed it was starting to glow as we turned towards my house. And so we pulled over and waited and watched the moon rise. Good memory to have with my boys. As you can see, it is dusk. The people are all but gone. There's a couple of people running around out there. Parking lot is pretty much empty. There is no one in this entire campground except for you and me. How cool is that? I planned ahead. I knew this would happen. I knew it would be chaos when I got here. But as soon as the sun went down, I knew everybody would go away. No one wants to sleep in 35 degrees, which is kind of funny to me. I think it feels nice. Got a nice comfy warm bed in there. I've got warm comforting food here to enjoy. I'm one happy dude. That is starting to steam. I don't need it boiling. Let's see if that... it's warm enough. It's about lukewarm, I guess. It looks hotter than it is because of the cold in the air. I always like to have my drinks in a separate container from my cook pot because that way I don't have to constantly wash my pot every time I cook something different in it. It's just convenience. Camera's kind of struggling in this cold to focus, so if it goes in and out, it's the cold. It's not made for cold weather. I thought about filming the whole thing on my phone, but yeah. It's all about testing the gear too, so seeing how it does. All right. Want some? Well, there's the moon coming up over the mountain. Big, bright, and full. Awesome. I saw a cottontail rabbit run through here a little bit ago, but he was too quick for me to film him. It's going to be an amazing night, my friends. It's going to be an amazing night. So while we're waiting for this, I'm going to put this together. You put 3/4 of a cup of cold water, stir briskly for 1 minute, seal pouch, and wait 10 minutes. Open pouch, top with brulee sugar. I'm really sorry about the focus, guys. My camera is not dealing well with the cold. Let's take a look at it. All right. Oh, I see. So this is the sugar here. get all the powder. It's just like a powder. This should be interesting. I've never had this ever. Didn't know it existed. This time I remembered to take this out. Roughly 3/4 cup cold water. And we stir briskly. Gotta get the corners. Oop, God. That's all I need. Big old huge mess. Stir briskly. Looks kind of like baby food. So I was going to seal this up and give it a good shake. But I want to make sure all the powder's out of the corners. Ooh, it almost doesn't want to fit in there. That's going to overflow. Oh, this is going to make a mess, man. Now, there's no shaking it up. Look at that. That's 3/4 cup, just like it said, but I can't seal it without stuff oozing out. That's frustrating. I would have put less in if I'd known that. Well, I got a sneak lick. Tastes like kind of a vanilla. I keep having to lick the excess. This is weird. Alright. That was a bit messy, but we'll leave it like that. Very vanilla. Tastes kind of like those, you know, those lick 'em sticks that you get? You dip them in candy powder and lick them. It tastes like those sticks. It's like the only part of the package I would eat when I was little, and my mom would buy them for me. I wouldn't eat the powder. I'd give that to my sisters. And I'd eat the little vanilla stick. Alright, let's check this out. Should be done. Here is pad thai. Looks amazing. Want some? I'm seriously trying to hold my head in the right place for the lighting and the package in the right place for the camera. So there you go. This is going to be really creepy, guys. Look like something out of a goth horror movie. But I'm using the little lantern here. I can't figure out where to put it that doesn't make me look scary. It's a handy little lantern. Thanks, Joe. That's pretty cool. Ooh, look right behind me. How about that for a view? Pad thai with the moonrise in the background. And all these suckers went home. Alright, here we go. First bite. I've had pad thai one time in my life with my ex-girlfriend. We were staying somewhere and she ordered it, and it was amazing. So I know what I'm comparing it to, at least one time. That's really good. It's got a kick to it. But I have to say, it leans more towards like a chicken casserole noodle soup kind of thing. It's thick enough. I don't know if you can see that. Always with the airplanes. If you follow my videos, you know my airplanes are the bane of my existence. We'll wait. I can't believe it. There's so much in there. Vegetables, noodles, chicken, spiciness. It's good. It's excellent. But having said that, I'd say the restaurant stuff was definitely a notch above. I think this is trying to be pad thai, but not quite. It's still really good. I would eat it again. I would buy it again. I was going to try Peak Refuel meals for this trip. They're Utah made. I have had them. In fact, the last time I was here, I had a couple of them gifted to me, and that's what we ate for dinner and breakfast. They were pretty good, but the price difference was staggering. This Mountain House was about $10, and the Peak Refuel for a similar meal was $16, and I just couldn't justify paying that for one meal. But seriously, $16 a meal, and you do breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that can add up pretty fast. gonna sit and enjoy this, then we'll come back for the creme brulee. Creme brulee. Okay, this is a sticky, gooey mess. It's like cake batter. That's what it reminds me of. Vanilla cake batter. Ugh. Stir it up once more. It's more soupy now. It's not so... It's really liquidy. It's not so thick. Not sure what happened there. It's like practically foaming over. So it's more of a drink. Looks like a shake. Here's the sugar. Did they notch this? They didn't. Oh, come on. They didn't notch it? Really? They did not notch the sugar packet. I have a knife, but it's in my tent. I want to go get it. I'm gonna have to. I'll be back. Alright. I had to get a towel too. Alright, so I have to cut it. I have no option. That's kind of dumb. Make an extra pouch for it. Make it impossible to get into. Look at that. It's sugar. You see that? It's like super... It looks like topaz or something. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Make me tinkle. I don't know what that means. By the way, I am keeping track of my garbage here. I always bring a Ziploc, in case anyone's wondering. I'm gonna stir the sugar in. I think I'm gonna end up drinking this more than eating it. I mean, it's so runny. That's weird. It was so thick before, and now that's crazy. All right, let's try this. Want some? I currently cannot see what I'm eating, so I apologize, but I have to see where the food is going. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to drink this. It's delicious. It's freaking awesome. I highly recommend it, but it shouldn't be this runny. And I can almost guarantee you it's something I did wrong. It's like a chunky creme brulee shake. Does it compare to what I've had in a restaurant? Again, with the same ex-girlfriend for some reason. She keeps coming into camp tonight, I guess. But took her to a restaurant and we had creme brulee and I couldn't stop eating it. It was amazing. It has that flair to it, but I didn't have to drink the last batch I had. You know what? I'm super annoyed. Right in the bottom, what happened while it was sitting for those 10 minutes is, I don't know if you can see this. Let me light it up. It's all the thick stuff went to the bottom. Okay, next time I buy this, and there will be a next time, I am going to, look at that. It's all mixed. I'm going to put less water in, I'm going to seal it, I'm going to shake the snot out of it. Kind of like an MRE shake. I'm not going to follow the instructions exactly because oftentimes they don't work. Same with Mountain House, as we've discovered. So there's some thick goodness for you. Want some? I'm looking at the screen. That's a bad habit. Look at the lens, Steve, not your face. Between the two meals, the pad thai and the dessert, it's about 1,000 calories, a little over, which is about good for a dinner time meal. Got the moon on the tip of my finger. I got creme brulee in my hands. An entire campground to myself. Beautiful sunset. A warm tent. A couple of stray voices over that way. They're all taking pictures of the moon. It's going to be a good night out here amongst the bison and the coyotes and the rabbits. And it wouldn't be Antelope Island without the antelope, which are not actually antelope, they're pronghorn deer. It's a lot easier to say than pronghorn deer island. The reason I keep looking over here is because I'm trying to make sure the lighting is right, and then I look back over here. Is my hair right? How's my makeup? I don't have hair or makeup, so. Anyway, I'm gonna finish this and then enjoy the moonlight for a while, and then we'll climb in the tent. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? Perfectly full moon. Over in the distance, all of those people living their lives. And we are officially, completely alone. No one else is in the parking lot but us. No more voices, no more crowds. You can kind of see the horizon there. Let's get in the tent. It's getting cold. My hands are freezing. Battery's going down on the camera. Well, here we go. That's my food bag. We're not in the backcountry. There's no bear hang here. So it's my food as well as some other things, odds and ends. I'm not sure what all's in there. Doesn't matter. I got some hand warmers in case I need them. Don't think I will. Got some stuff charging right there. Here's my fuel. I'll have to sleep with that, keep it warm enough to use in the morning. It's gonna be pretty chilly tonight. I've got a quilt. I've got a 0-degree bag. This is by Coleman. It is not a backpacking bag. If you saw my Moab trip from last year, even if you didn't, this is what we took. Kept my boys nice and warm. I've never actually slept in it. Tried to at Devil's Playground last year and ended up bailing on that camp out. So anyway, this is my Thermarest pillow that's kind of needs to be replaced. It's lost its fluff. In the summertime, I use this blue quilt here a lot. Sometimes that's all I take to cover myself with in the mountains. These are new. Sky Ice down booties. So I'll be putting these on my feet tonight to keep them warm. Show you what they look like. They look kind of ridiculous, to be honest, but they're down and come highly recommended for this time of year. You get cold feet a lot in the backcountry. They're great for sleeping in, apparently, and this will be my first time using those. My standard blue of choice. Now, that's about it. I mean, there's not a lot in here. My shoes are over here, my garbage, the lanterns. I'm going to climb in this sleeping bag. I'm going to get comfortable and warm. Have a good night, guys, and I will see you bright and early in the morning. Well, good morning. The sun is up. I slept okay. Everything's frosty. Had kind of a weird experience. About 11 p.m. Car pulled up here and you could hear them opening and closing doors like they were getting out of a stretch limo or something. Like so many doors shutting. And I just ignored it, whatever. And then I hear this couple talking loudly and just stomping down the trail towards my camp. And I listened, expecting them to spot my tent. I was laying in the tent. Expected them to spot me and go, oh, someone's camping here. They literally walked right up to my table, and this dumb kid, and I say kid, he was probably in his 20s, goes, oh look, someone left all their stuff here on this table. And there's a tent. And the girl's like, yeah. And I said, hello? And he goes, did you hear that? I said, I'm camping here. That's why there's a tent and stuff on the table. He goes, oh, my bad. And then they walked off and they got in their car and did whatever it is they did in their car. And I got up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. And they were still parked there. And everything was quiet. That was about 3 a.m. And then by this morning they were gone. So just duh, you walk up on someone's campsite, they're probably in the tent. It's 11 p.m. Anyway, kind of negative. Sorry about that. I just, you know, I've been kind of intense on this trip and just a lot of stuff on my mind. I slept really well. That sleeping bag, that Coleman, is really warm. I wish it was more of a backpacking sleeping bag, but it's not. And my Snug Pack bunker tent, my beloved tent. This is my only 4-season tent. It's an amazing tent. I've had it for about 4 or 5 years, but I've used it a lot in some really heavy storms. And unfortunately, I think this is its last trip. As I was putting it together, the poles were, the nylon inside the poles were very stretched out. I had to actually tuck them inside the poles to get them to hook together. Way too stretched out, probably from way too many storms where they had to really be pushed to their limit. And yeah, I could replace the poles, but even looking online, I got this for $250 off Amazon, and now you can only get it from Snugpack's website, and they'll refer you to a dealer, and the tent is $500 and something, and it's time for a new 4-season tent, I think. So I don't know if you can see that, probably not very well, but that's because the sun's coming up. I'm trying to kind of race against the crowds. It's a Sunday morning. It's a beautiful day. It's a clear day, and there are going to be a lot of people here soon. In the meantime, these booties did an awesome job. My feet are toasty warm, but also these breathe really well, so they didn't get so hot I couldn't stand to keep them on. They're just right. So they look funny, kind of like the moon boots I wore as a kid in the snow, but they're much thinner. But I highly recommend getting a pair of down booties for cold weather, or if you get cold feet easily. I slept with my fuel canister in the sleeping bag and then kept it on my person this morning, so it should be warm enough to work normally. It is currently 34 degrees. Biscuits and gravy for breakfast. And also, in addition to the biscuits and gravy, I have this caramel and chocolate cocoa mix. Something nice and warm. Get the day started. There's what the biscuits and gravy looks like beforehand. This is one of my favorite mountain house meals. Really good one. A lot of people like this one. Okay, we have a rolling boil. Let's remember to take the toy surprise out. Cup and a half of boiling water. Make sure we stir it up good. Don't want it settling in the bottom like last night. There we go. 5 minutes, stir, and then let it sit for another 4 minutes. Kind of like the one last night, not much different. In the meantime, I need some water now for cocoa. I've used up 1.5 liters, probably 2 liters of water on this trip so far. That's about right, I think. Ooh, that smells good. It's really different. These little packets are awesome. I like to grab them at the store and take them backpacking with me, especially. This is more of a car camping trip, even though I used my backpack, but still, they're very convenient, flavorful. Really like them. Alright, there's that. I'll come back to that in a second. I'll stir this up some more. Oh, that's thickening up nicely. That's what she said. I'll give you the full view when they're ready. Chicken and dumplings, when they are ready, when it's ready. It smells amazing. You can smell that sausage in there. All right. Want some? Well, it's ready. Want some? That's what it looks like in the bag. So I think I'm just gonna have some breakfast here and clean up and call it a trip and make another video about the hike I'm about to take. So here's to another successful camp out despite the crowds. Ladyfinger Point did not disappoint in the end. It was kind of annoying with the people part of it, but soon that snow will melt and we will be in the Uintas. Oh wow. That is so good. It's basically a bag of gravy and bread and meat. Loaded with carbs. And sodium. Actually, carbs aren't that bad. Anyway, going forward, you'll see a lot of backpacking videos. There may be a desert camp or two before that happens. Out in the desert, not, you know, in the state park with everybody running around. I try to create a wide variety on this channel, and I have a lot of future plans for this year that are different. I just started watching a lady. She lives on the East Coast. I'll put her screen name up here on the screen. I'll link her channel down in the description. She's probably in her 50s, and she's out there by herself killing it. And she's, you know, absolutely not 100% outdoors experty. She's humble, she's simple, she's kind. You know, I don't know her personally. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying that I stumbled across her channel and I thought, wow, I can relate to her. Anyway, my breakfast is getting cold. Here's to the next adventure, guys. God, that's good. Messy though. Do yourselves a favor. Get off the couch. Get outside in nature and have an adventure. The views are spectacular. And if you can't get off the couch for whatever reason, come along with me. I could use the company. We'll see you in the next video, guys, in the next adventure. Because it's about more than just a video, right? Take care.